Record. There we go. Recording is ready to rock. We're good to go, Crystal. So thank you so much for opening, getting us ready earlier today. I know that it was a lot, but we are ready to kind of pick that up and make this thing happen. I'm going to share my screen. And of course, we got about 5, 7 minutes, you guys, but let me tell you this. All right. So when you think about where we are in artificial intelligence currently, you got to think about how you're going to have agents working for your small business, working for your company, working for you while you're sleeping, working for you while you're doing high level skill type things. Maybe you got a major meeting, but you need to make a post at the same time. I was listening to a guy today and he talked about how many posts you should be making on a regular basis. The content game is huge right now. Content is king. The person who has the most content is rising in all of the different areas, and the algorithms are picking them up and then putting you in front of all kind of people. So if you don't have content happening around whatever business that you have, then you're going to be left behind, even if you are using AI, because you got to use it effectively. You got to use it efficiently. So it's not just about like being excited about AI, it's how do we use it in a safe but effective manner. And earlier today, we gave you some really, really key pieces, and I'm just going to go a little bit deeper in there earlier today by Crystal. Now, remember this, you are irreplaceable when you know that you have the AI to back you up. See, if you're just doing your job and you think that, hey, AI is not going to take my job, well, it just depends on what it is and time. I don't think people thought that cars would just be made by just robots only. But right now, pretty much robots are making cars, right? Think about how many people are not on the assembly line anymore. All right. So computers, computer processors used to be people putting all those little diodes and things in there in order to make that work. And now it's done totally on automatic, right? So think about what it is that you do, what you're involved in, even the industry that you're involved in. How could that industry be disrupted when it comes to artificial intelligence? How could it be disrupted by agents or automation? All right. Now, how can it also be ready to scale up? How can it be ready to take over and be better as a result of automation? I mean, think about it. Okay, so you got to wake up in the morning, you get yourself ready, you come into your office, and you say, "Okay, I'm gonna make a post." 90% of people, it takes them a half an hour just to think about what it's going to say. And then after they think about what it's going to make sure it's and all of that stuff. And so what I want to tell you is that you are the main ingredient to your own success, and you're irreplaceable and unstoppable when you have partnered yourself with your AI tools. Now, of course, AI tools are going to change. They're changing every day. They're changing every week. They're changing every couple of hours. It's so many things that are happening in this world when it comes to artificial intelligence, and the capability is phenomenal right now. I mean, you can ask it to do almost anything, and it will. So now my thought is this, and our thought is this. How do you make yourself irreplaceable or unstoppable? You partner with the artificial intelligence. You make it a ally for your business. You create a support system. You create a team. But in order to do that, you got to have certain things in place. And so tonight, we're going to be talking about those things. We're going to be sharing some things. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to get started on some things. I got a couple of things to give away as well. Also want to remind you to go to the Commons Academy .ai. When you go to our space, you're going to, sign up. You can sign up for free, get in there. You can pay for certain things. You can get some stuff free. There's different tools in there. We're going to talk about your archetype, leverage yourself in the communal. We're talking to those people who feel like any day now their AI can knock on the door and take over their work, right? We don't want you to be that person. We want you to be the one that says, hey, I know AI and therefore I'm more valuable to this company because I know how to use these tools. I know how to tap into these systems and make it better. All right, my name is Dwayne Ross, D. Ross, the author of the book No More Crumbs, celebrating you, discovering your tag, your talent, your ability, your gift. And I've partnered with Crystal and Eric and Holly in the Cummins Academy and FuBo. If you were a part of that, you understand that we said, forget about being obsolete. You are not obsolete. You have some amazing stuff on the inside of you, and you can do some things that other people can't do. And there's going to be a human in the loop. So why not be you? Why not be you? So it's about time to get started. Let me go ahead. The recording is going. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I hope that this is something that's going to be of value to you and your life and all that you want to do in your business. So let me share that. And let me go right to my presentation. All right, because I do have a presentation right here. And I'm going to start from this space right here. Now, we showed you a number of tools and a number of ways for you to make this thing happen, right? And one of them was Notebook LM. And then last week, we also talked to you about using ChatGPT. And then today, I'm going to be using something called Manus, right? These tools are available to you. They're amazing, and you can use them for whatever you need, right? Okay, so for me to do this presentation, I'm going to start from the beginning. All right. We talk about building a fence. I got to go back to the beginning. So this is a top secret mission, and if you choose to accept it, let's go. All right. I like to move this little box thing out the way. Sometimes it does get in the way, so I'm going to click on that high floating thing, get that out of the way. You're going to see a little box right there just for a minute. And then, of course, I'm going to move me out the way so you don't see, I don't take over the screen. All right. So here we go. We're live, right? Facing your AI superpowers. See, you are the main ingredient. So therefore, you got to be the one. Now, when we're talking about cloning ourselves, cloning yourself, there are some safeguards that we want to make sure you have in place. And so today, through this mission, we're going to talk about fencing, putting up some kind of guardrails, putting up something that's going to keep your information and the information of your clients in a space where only you can really manipulate it. You don't want AI out there willy-nilly, working with your materials and taking your information and using it for anything else. So we're going to give you some base knowledge. We're going to give you some spaces to play, and we're going to talk about how you protect your identity. How do you protect the things that are dear to you and your clientele? What's called your PII, your personal information, right? This is the secret, right? This is that thing that people can take and use. So we're going to talk about the art of that safe paste. That's right. What are you pasting out there, right? What are you putting out there for people to participate in? All right. So here's the dilemma. And this is really true. This is happening right now. I want you to think about it. The moment you paste something, a choice has been made. You put it on Facebook, it's made. You put it on Instagram, it's made. You send it in an email, it's gone, it's made. Because it's in the cloud and you can't undo the cloud. You can't go back and say, "Ooh, give me that back." It's now out there in the danger zone. Remember that? Highway to the danger zone. Okay, that's where it's out there now. So you want to do some things first to reduce the possibilities of it being in a danger zone. So this is the dilemma. You want to do all this stuff. You want to make things happen. You want to be free to really engage with these tools and materials. But the moment you paste, a choice has been made. And some tools are learning directly from you. I showed you last week inside Facebook, inside ChatGPT, how to turn that feature off. That way, it's not learning from you. It's learning internally, but that's it. It's not learning to teach the world. And that's the thing. If you have an enterprise model for your company, they've already put those guardrails. Your CIO should have already put those guardrails in so that you don't have to worry about it. And it only trains on the data that's inside the system. That it doesn't go out to get nothing off the internet. It doesn't coagulate your information with their information or commingle or any of those little words like that, right? So you want those tools to learn, but they want to learn in your safe environment, only within your guardrails, inside your fenced yard, inside your area. Okay. Now, some will just store information. And then, of course, you want yours in a space that you have an actual fortress. You want to build some things. So here's the thing. I want you to think about this mission, all right? Develop a 2-second gut check before you paste every single time. This should be a thing that you do. You personally should feel this. You're like, you know what? Did I or did I not? Right? To be or not to be. You want to make sure you've taken the time to take this pause. And so what you're doing is you're deciding how that information is going to be utilized. So the first thing is, if it's a free tool and it's open to everyone, what kind of information can I ask it? What kind of information can I get from it? What kind of information do I give it? Right? Paste freely, public info, general knowledge, concepts, things you can Google, non-sensitive ideas, not your intellectual deep property, none of that stuff, none of your main information. All right. So it could look like this. Explain quantum physics to a 5-year-old. All right. Explain how to bake a cake. Explain how to build an agent. You can ask it that kind of stuff. Simple and it's open to the public, right? Then you get into the yellow light. You get into the space where you're like, wait a minute. I don't want any identifiers in this information. I need to redact. I need to, you ever see how somebody they'll take a contract and then they'll just black out everything so that you can't see it. Okay, that's what you're doing. Names, order numbers, specific addresses, specific things that are related to the people that you have to stay safe, and even you, right? Rewrite this email, but of course you're gonna take the client and maybe you're going to change something about that. Like instead of saying Joe Blow, you might have a code word that you use, a code name that you use, Billy Bob, right? And you put that name in place of John Smith, right? And then the order number 1X27007. I don't know. But whatever it is, you're going to put something in its place. So you redacted it, you're taking it out, right? And then, of course, if you're doing something where health information or anything very vital to your being, you want to keep it out. Okay, leave it out, and that's trade secrets, very deep, detailed information about your processes, intellectual property that you don't want to put in the hands of your competition, right? Passwords, things like this. People were like, "Oh, I'm gonna give it all my passwords." No, don't give it all your passwords. You got to keep certain things to yourself, right? Draft a response to this legal subpoena. All right. So these are things that you're gonna sort. You're gonna make a decision at what stays inside the fence and what goes outside the fence. All right. So hopefully this is making sense. And now there's going to be some activity for you to do. And I'm also going to give you an infographic so you can use this. All right. So the golden rule, is it mine or the company's to share? Right. This is that gut check. This is that 2-second thing that we want you to do. Right. This is like the golden rule. Redact or leave. What am I going to do? Any no answer, you already know you got to redact it. You got to say no. You got to leave. Okay. Would it be okay if this information showed up in a public search anywhere? And this doesn't just mean Google, it could be anywhere. Pinterest, I don't care. Wherever it could show up, do you want it public? If you say yes, okay, cool. But if you say no, redact it or leave it out. Write that down. Okay, cool. So you got some stuff that's going to happen out here. And you know that, we as humans, we are frail. We make mistakes. That's okay. But what you want to do is your best, all right? Your highest level of thought when it comes to your information and the information of your clientele, all right? So you got these three areas that we want to kind of go through. Number one, free personal chat bot, okay? That's the tool. If it's a free tool, everybody can use it and it's not locked down. You don't have any kind of way to personalize it and lock in and put things behind a wall or anything like that, then you got a problem. Okay? 99.9% of the time, it's training on your information, it's training on your inputs, it's taking that data and it's disseminating that data out all over the world. Okay? And so again, the call, that's your call. Leave it out. Okay? Why? Because it could be used for things that you don't want it used for. Okay? Don't train settings can be set on certain parts. Okay? And if it's not available, if set correctly, it's not going to train on it or use that input unless you incorrectly use it or you turn it or enable it off and it's not being used. Okay, that's a problem, right? Again, redact first. When we say redact, we're not saying not use it. We're just saying take out the PII, that personal, information. You don't want to give people that. And then enterprise data, any kind of big time agreement. All right. Trains on it. No. Usually that's how it's set up. Okay. And so if it's set up and you got all the guardrails in place, all the policies in place, enterprise model and the organization, ChatGPT and Claude because of this, right? They wouldn't want that data to be shared to anybody, willy-nilly. So they had to both make some decisions. If you go back in time before all of this, it was Facebook. How are they using the data? It was Twitter. How are they using the data? That's now X, right? So two checks. What is it, right? You're gonna get to that every time, right? And then where's it going? Where's it going? Right? So again, am I leaving it out, redacting it first, or feeding it? Which one am I going to do? I got to ask myself those questions, those 2-second pause to make sure what's the deal. And then I can make moves with it. All right. So I want you to think about this, and this is an activity real quick, and the answer is right in front of you. All right. Person A, civilian, right? Paste the whole customer email, Sarah Chin, order number, home address into a free chat bot to write a warm apology. People have already done this and they've suffered some loss. We want to make sure that you're not doing this and that you do not suffer loss as a result of something this simple. Okay. And then hand it real identity to a tool that may train on it. And so think about the impact of that. We say blast radius is wide. What can happen? Where can that information go? It's huge of what can happen with that information. So you got to be aware of this, okay? But now, person B, the hero, writes a warm apology for a late order, friendly tone, and fills in the names and details themselves. This is the human in the loop afterwards. Now, I'm not saying that later on you're not going to have an agent and you're not going to have it locked down. That's what you want. You want to get it to the point that you have put the security place in place, you have locked it down, you've given your agents only specific data that it can access, and you let it do its work. Okay. Once you've done all those things, now you're in a good place. But what we don't want you to do is just give it whatever information without thinking about where it's going, how it could show up out in the world. Okay, the tool never saw the identity, only shapes of the task. And this is very important. See, the shape of the task is the most important part. It just needs to know, what do you want me to do with this information? How do you want me to write this thing? What kind of, this, what kind of outcome do you want? Once you have that, then you control what's on the inside, right? What information you give it. And so again, blast radius is controlled. It's not going to be 100%. That's just not going to happen, right? Because people make mistakes and situations happen. But you're in a better position than having this wide blast radius versus this controlled, radius. So think about that right now, and I want you to go ahead and write down what are the things that you need to do. What is the pause, and what are the questions you need to ask before you move forward, and why? I want you to write that down. I'm gonna give you a couple of seconds to do that. Well, actually a whole minute, but I want you to write that down. All right. And let me check and see if there's any questions in the comment section, anything in the chat. I have it in front of me as well, so I can take a peek. That way I'm not like interrupting you. I'm also looking to see what's going on, but I definitely want to make sure that you're getting what you need. Okay. All right. So take a minute and go for that. And I'm just going to be quiet over here. Reflex. Again, this is very important. So now here's some things that you want to do. This is called a 20-second scrub, right? You just want to make sure you do this 20-second scrub. All right. So here is the information. Jordan Hale, order number, right? Still waiting. Hi, my order at Oak Table was supposed to be at this place and this, right? So what do we need to do? We need to take the seconds, take the time, pause, and like, okay, can we, or what do we need to do with this data? And you can give your AI agent the job of actually cleaning the data too and putting it into another place. Like clean the data here, put it on an Excel spreadsheet, and that's inside your system. It's locked in. Let's scrub this. You want to scrub the list. And when you scrub the list, these are the things you want to uh, be aware of. Redacted for safety. Now you got the customer, you got the number, and you got the customer. So you can put that information in and still get the result you want. But if you're keeping it behind your own guardrails, what I was saying is that if you have a team, then that's one thing. But if you don't have a team, you don't have any kind of safety person worry about protecting your data. Okay, so we want you to do that. And then, of course, you're building a standing fence, right? And what are the instructions? Okay, the hard boundary sets strict access limits. All right, you don't want loose access. Maybe put read-only connections where possible. That's important. Okay, that's important. All right, read-only connections where possible. Okay, that's important. And then, of course, scoped access, only what it needs to see. You only let it see what it needs to see. Red zone sources stay disconnected. Things that you just don't need them to work on stay behind the fence, right? Okay. And then, of course, default rules. Set it once on your profile. You can set it up that it will actually do these things. It'll say, oh, I'm going to use roles, not names. So when you build your bot, you build your AI, your artificial intelligent, um, uh, you know, replacement or assistant, you're going to give it these rules. You're going to say, hey, use roles, not names. Use placeholders for sensitive data, right? Because you're creating a mini you. Remember, we talked about the mini brain. We talked about the second brain. And so you want to make sure that you tell it like this, standing rule, all right? And those two slash marks means emphasize to the intelligence to do this one particular rule. Never expose real IDs in drafts. Flag sensitive data for my review. Why? You're the human in the loop. Now, will it catch it every single time? We already talked about that. No, it will not, but it's going to do a lot better than just giving it full access and not caring about what happens to the data. Okay? And so this is really important for you as you move forward. Okay. So again, what are we talking about? We're talking about protecting our data. We're talking about when we build our clone, we're giving it some strategy so that it keeps our data safe from others outside, that we don't just publicly share it all over and things of this nature, right? And as I just said, you are the human in the loop, or you will have a staff that's a human in the loop. The AI drafts, you approve. This is the most basic way to keep stuff in a really good place, right? Um, it's not just something cool to do. It is what's going to help really keep you in a good space. It's the final read, it's the final review, it's the final before you send it out to the world, right? You let the AI do the heavy lifting. It does all the drafting, it does all the writing, it does all the different stuff. And then you can go back and put the critical information in there after you do a critical review, right? And again, what happens to the fence? It stays intact. All right. You should write that down. Somewhere in that process, there's a final check before it goes to everybody or goes out. Okay. So if you're doing social media posts and you want to get that word out, before you do a whole bunch of them, test them, make a trial run. Always or have it like create your social media posts in advance of 30 days, but you take day one and day two and go through them all and then push a button and say, okay, now you can release them to the world, right? Because you double checked and you triple checked. You took that pause and you reviewed everything before you let it go. All right. And so again, what are we doing? We're keeping it safe. So your mission briefing, my three always feed items are cool, right? My rule for leaving it, if it's passwords, health information, very specific to you, trade secrets, formulas, things of this nature. You don't want that out there. You talking about, your favorite gut busting, drink. They got the money to put a better label on it, shipping making $1 million on the front cover of the magazine, and you just sitting there trying to figure out what happened because you was trying to, show your friend this cool thing that you do. All right. That's happening with apps right now, right? People are coming up with some really cool apps and then they put it in a free position and they're not protecting it. And then other companies are seeing in their free stuff and then they have the money to do the full development on it. And then they go ahead and they beat you to the market. You don't want that. Okay. That's what's happening. All right. And so last part, my redact rule, right? How I handle the messy middle. This is what I got to do. I got to think, what do I need to keep? What do I take away? I have to redact it. I have to take that name off of there. I have to take that order number maybe. I have to take my email maybe because people will scrub for your emails and then use those to blast the people and send sales letters. Okay. And so I want you to think of what's the one action you take this week. Your one action for making this and give you access to that tool so you can actually utilize it anytime you want. And all you got to do is you go to the Commons Academy AI, you join, and when you go to the information for this session, you'll have that available for a download. I'm going to share it with you and show you it. I'm going to walk you through it because it's really important. I'm also going to give you an audio that's also going to help you remember this stuff, right? Because I want you to recall this. I want you to give it to the people that's in your circle. All right. So what action can you take? You have the brain. We talked about that in day one, part one. Last week, we talked to you about your voice. Again, what are you building? You're building this clone. You're building a mini you, another you that will work like you, that will be your voice out there in the inner space. Okay. And then part one was that. Part two was the voice. And then this day is part three, your fence. You're building it out, and now we're going to be ready to scale. Now we're ready to deploy, right? Next week, we're in this part where you're talking about your reach. How are you going to get it out there to the people, and what is it going to look like? That's very important. That's the journey ahead. All right. So we're getting ready to really put this thing to work. Going to show you some really cool tools, how to, manipulate things into a pot. And I use the word manipulation, but we're talking about managing it, right? Manipulating, moving it, kneading it, getting it to where it's for working for you. All right. I'm going to stop sharing real quick, and I want to go get the tool. Okay, I want you to see this. All right, don't forget, join the library, check out the full toolkit. We have all kind of good information in there, all types of job aids that you can use, information that you can actually upload and use yourself. You can, download and augment your learning, things of this nature. And remember, redact by default, feed on purpose. Make sure you're feeding information on purpose, right? This is your mission accomplished. All right. Now, again, one you, many outputs, because you want to be able to have that person that you create, that's your mini you with your mini brain and all that other stuff doing multiple things for you. And that is phenomenal. And we're going to get that. The person always makes the final call. Remember that. You are the human in the loop. All right, let me push escape real quick and stop sharing. I'm going to bring up this awesome tool that I created. Oh, let me go get it first. You guys will have access to it again. Uh, if you join us and get behind the scenes, you'll have access to it. So it's really phenomenal. So I'm just going to pull it up right quick in my downloads. That way it's facing you and you can see it. I don't want to let me make sure I got it up. Give me a moment. A moment. There we go. Where are you? Pa, 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 pa. Because what has been happening is that certain documents and pictures and stuff hasn't been turning out the way that it used to be. They're changing there's the way that they was be able to see it with no problem. And now I have to look. Here we go. So let me preview this and open it up. I'm opening it. I'm just waiting for it to open all the way. Sometimes it's a little bit slow because we're um, on Zoom, but let me go ahead and share it now. All right. This is what I wanted to share with you guys and show you. I'm gonna move this bar out the way. And this is everything we covered tonight, right? So now you can see what we covered. First of all, sort it fast. Feed it, redact first, or leave it out, right? API keys, very important. You don't want to give access to that. You want to share that, right? Medical, legal, financial records. You want to keep that locked in, right? You want to redact, cover up anything that, has identifiers. If it is not yours to share, redact it or leave it out. Remember, it's up to you. If you got freedom for it, then no problem. Ask the three questions. Remember we said, is it mine to share? Did I remove the names and contact information publicly anywhere in the world? Doesn't matter who. Okay? If you answer yes to any of those things, okay, go for it, feed it. If you say no, then you have two choices, redact it or leave it out. All right? Again, fence your AI self, making sure you are in that space and you're being intentional. Okay? Tool changes the answers. Remember, free chatbots may train on your inputs. Best call, leave it out. Chatbot with training off, more contained. Again, redact first. You got some kind of guardrails, you're doing good. enterprise tool with a data agreements in place and protected environment, you're good to go. Feed it. Give it what it needs. Okay. Use structure stays, identifiers leave, right? Names, roles, right? We're switching the name to role. We're looking at placeholders. We're looking at other things that we need to delete or leave out or strike through, stripe out, any unique identifiers, we're trying to remove those, okay? And then last thing, number 5, build your standing fence. Step 1, permissions. Give the tools only the access it needs. If it doesn't need it, don't give it to it. All right. Standard instructions. Again, we told you slash slash, give it an instruction, right? Placeholders, not tell it what you want it to do. And then step 3, remember, you are the human in the loop. You are the eyes on the prize. Okay. So person always makes the final call. Redact by default, feed on purpose. All right, you'll get access to this inside the community. Not giving it to you free here. You could, if you wanted to take a screenshot, no problem, but you don't get the actual download. Okay, real cool stuff. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing that. Okay, sharing has stopped. Okay, cool. All right, and then one last I want to share. And remember last time we worked inside. We worked inside. What am I saying? We worked inside uh, the Notebook LM, right? And what's cool is I did this thing where I said, okay, um, let me get this here as an actual audio. Let's check it out. I'm waiting for it to work.
This is the brief on safely fencing your AI data. We're diving into a new AI training workbook, revealing exactly how to protect your sensitive info from leaking without sacrificing the incredible power of your AI assistants. Before you paste a single thing, you need a lightning-fast way to see if it's actually safe to share. First, run the 3-question gut check. Ask yourself, is this data really mine to share? Is it completely free of names and financials? And would I be okay if this showed up in a search result someday? If you hit a no, you've got to redact it. Treat pasting into AI just like writing a postcard. If you wouldn't want the mail carrier reading it, don't hit paste. Now, once you know what your data is, look at where it's going. Second, check your tools tier. So what does this actually mean for that free chatbot you use every day? Well, they usually train on your inputs. Feeding them real identities widens your blast radius, exposing data to anyone that tool touches. You absolutely must turn on those don't train settings or use a secure enterprise tool. Remember, the AI just needs the shape of the task, not real names. But manually scrubbing names is exhausting, right? Finally, build a standing fence. Give your AI a default instruction to swap real identifiers for placeholders, like replacing Jordan with the customer. This ensures your drafts come out safely fenced from the start. Wait, won't the AI still slip up and make mistakes? Absolutely it will. That's exactly why a human must always make the final call. You are the ultimate safety mechanism. By keeping real identities on your side of the fence and giving the machine only the shape of the task, you get all the extraordinary output with absolutely zero risk. This is
So that is the main piece of what we wanted to cover today. I don't see anybody in the chat with no questions, so that's okay. But hey, if you see this anywhere, you see parts of this anywhere, you're inside the community. If you have any questions, all you got to do is reach out to us, and we will answer those questions for you. There are some other work tools, resources inside the resource area, the library. Of course, you can go there. Again, when you go, let me go to the website so you can know what the website looks like. Let me make sure I can actually access it. Let me see here. All right, and it should be the Commons Academy, right? Where when you go there, you can actually sometimes it's been kind of slow getting to open up. Join, learn more about what we have, right? Become the person that you can't be replaced, right? We have the live sessions, we have the library, we have the programs, we have the pricing. Just want to remind you how it works. You just click on it and get that information, right? Browse the library for free, find your archetype, right? There's some curated information, right? Okay, which is watch now what a person is reading this week. Tech AI sounds like you watch the replay, build your own second brain, and then you'll see the other replay here as well. That's great information. What's on the shelf right now that's free? You can do your friction index, score your friction slowing you for the week before you automate anything. You could try that. The Hormozy map where humans stay in the loop and what safe for you to hand to AI. That's real cool. You can try that out. The 30-day AI starter pilot is for membership. It's in there. Document analysis and synthesis. AI guardrails. I mean, this is some powerful information inside our library. Full tools and games. Again, the mapper is there, the true net ROI canvas, so you can see what's your initiative, what's your true investment, and what are you getting a return on investment once you start using AI. This is really a cool tool, right? You find your archetype, okay, but when you go on this tool right here, become the person that's irreplaceable, right? You gotta, you can join in and learn more about that. All right. Again, we just talked about Fine Fence and Forge. That's real powerful for you. All right. I think it was taking a little bit. You can do learn it and build it for yourself since a month, less than a cup of coffee every day. Library plus the group and us. You'll be you know, answering questions, locking in time with us and for the founders, etc. Right? And founder members. This is a founders rate right now, where again that's $7.49 for the whole year, billed to you monthly at $62.42. That's pretty cool, right? You're in the power circle right there. And then, of course, you in the circle of greatness here, inner circle, right? Circle plus us in the room with you. This here is like the top, of our programs right here. 399.99. Everything in the circle plus the one-on-one coaching, priority access. How much it costs per hour to get a certified consultant to sit with you by hour. But right now, if you check and you go to LinkedIn and you actually find out it's over $1,500 an hour. And some depending on the background, it could be $3,000 an hour for a certified, accredited coach who is an AI consultant. Okay. These are not just general people who just sat at the kitchen table and learned how to do AI. We're talking about certifications. All right. So you have that, right? Strategies. You got advanced architecture, enterprise scaling, co-pilot mastery, right? $67. 30-day AI starter pilot, $97. Real simple stuff. This is you can buy a la carte, right? Client onboarding kit, $37. Inbox triage kit, $27. Meeting momentum kit, $17. Solo AI team kit, $47, right? Fast starter, $7, $37. Microsoft Copilot Mastery, $147. This right here, I did a workshop on building your Copilot, using Copilot to build your own chief of staff. It was phenomenal. People loved it, right? And I've been showing people how to do that. So we are here to show you how not to become obsolete, right? And so we have big time things getting ready to happen also out in this, all over the world. Businesses coming together, nonprofits coming together, agencies in a day. We have a number of different things. We can work with you and your teammates. This is all the stuff that's available to you. Take your time, come here, learn about the team, learn about what we're doing, learn about the archetypes. Go ahead and join in, get into the library, get your fingers wet. This is really here for you guys, all right? You can learn about the commons and what we're doing. This is a movement for the irreplaceable. We want every single human to keep AI, keep the human in AI, right? We want to keep the human in the loop. We don't want them to forget who they are. We want them to be able to show up. We move with AI without losing the signal that only humans carry, and that's the humanness. right? We don't want to get to the place where everything's robotic and people are not involved. So fear of becoming obsolete is the problem. FuBO was the answer. So we are answering the call. This is what we're doing. We don't sell automation. We sell the practice of keeping yourself irreplaceable while the work changes underneath you. Okay? The work in the world is changing underneath us. It's up to you. Find your place and come check us out. We hope that you do that. Anyway, my name is D. Ross, Dwayne Ross, part of the Commons Academy team. I want to say thank you to Crystal, to Eric, to Holly, and myself, and those that are joining us coming together under this umbrella. It's so much to do. We're going to have some personal development stuff coming at you. We're going to have a retreat coming at you. We're going to have an actual in-person conference coming at you. We have so much going on and it's going to be phenomenal. We want you to be a part of it as a founding member and as an so have a great night, everybody. Take care and peace.